He can't stand his brother. I'm sorry, but I had no idea the amount of loathing he has for Prince William. And he paints him as an absolute cad who was bullying him and unkind to him at every turn. And of course, then paints himself as the hero. I mean, he goes into great detail about how amazing he has been, Harry. Here are a couple of examples. First, we've talked about before, he blamed his Nazi costume on William and Kate, saying they were the ones who told me to wear it. They laughed hysterically. They thought it was amazing, but I had to take all the bad press over it. He can't even get over the little digs. Okay, here's a story about when they were both in the military together. They gave a joint interview, and he says, during this interview, Willie, which is what he calls his brother, griped endlessly about my habits. Harry's a slob. Harry snores. I turned and gave him a look. Was he joking? I cleaned up after myself, and I didn't snore. Besides, our rooms were separated by thick walls, so even if I did, there was no way he heard. The reporters were having fits of giggles about it all, but I cut in. Lies, lies. That only made them laugh harder. Willie, too. Now, he says, I can't help but wonder if there wasn't something else at play. I was training to get to the front lines, the same place Willie'd been training to get, but the palace had scuttled his plans. The spare? Sure. Let him run around on a battlefield like a chicken with his head cut off. It's what he likes. But the heir? No. So Willie was now training to be a search and rescue pilot, and perhaps feeling quietly frustrated about it. You see, he was jealous of him. He was jealous of the spare because he got to do all the fun things. This is what brothers do to each other. Like, he needed another brother. If I could list for you all the things that my brother has said about me, it's kind of a brother's job to toughen you up, whether you're a little brother or a little sister. That's another story he tells about how in 2015, he got a little agoraphobic. He had some panic attacks. He was giving a speech, and he said he was nervous, and Willie came up to me backstage laughing. Harold, look at you. You're drenched, because he'd been sweating. I couldn't fathom his reaction. Him, of all people. He'd been present for my very first panic attack with Kate. I couldn't imagine how he could be so insensitive. Insensitive or taking a different path to try to toughen you up and teach you to laugh at your lowest moments.
Oh, come on. This is banter. This is great British banter. It is brotherly banter. That is William's sense of humor. And to me, what was fascinating is at the time, Harry took it as banter. But now he has been captured by a cabal of Hollywood woke-topian yes people, right, who are friends with Megyn, and the whole psychotherapy community who want him to look back into his past and make himself a victim. And he's done that. But I actually think it is despicable the way that he has thrown William under the bus, because I know, Megyn, the times when William was there for Harry, and I'm talking dark moments, right, because we know about the drug use in this book, by the way. Harry was breaking the law on multiple occasions. Now, whether you agree with that or disagree with that, whether you think drugs should be legalized or not, personally, I don't. I'm very anti-drugs, and I think actually sustained drug use over many decades has significantly impacted Harry's mental health. That is my opinion. But whatever you think about it, you've got at the time the third in line to the throne breaking the law constantly and consistently. What are you expecting the second in line for the throne, Prince William, to do about that? He's not just going to allow it to happen. There were moments when he needed to give Harry some tough love, because the tough love wasn't coming from Charles, who had this sense of guilt, really, about the fact that he was a single dad and he could never really cope with that. So actually, I think what he's done to William is despicable. And I know, by the way, from my reporting on William and Harry for many years now, William ain't going to forgive and forget. His red line, by the way, was not the personal attacks on him. It was the attacks on Kate, his wife. He found that completely despicable when Megyn went on international television and claimed that Kate had made her cry. We've then seen more attacks on Kate in the Netflix documentary. But this book, William is presented as the villain of the piece. And I think it is disgusting. And Harry has to know that there are now permanent ramifications for his relationship with William. Because think about this, right? William is going to be king one day. And Harry has now tried to present to the world, he says for historical purposes, his brother as a violent, angry, insensitive bully. Now, if you speak to people who are friends with William, that is not how they characterize the guy. I would say Harry drove him to frustration time and again. And I don't know about you, Megyn. Once I got to one of the final chapters in the book, because my God, it's long and it's dirty, and I felt like I had to take a wash after it. And William lunges at Harry because he's just so frustrated by his hypocrisy. You know, the fact that he's banging on about the way that the royal family briefed the press. And William says to him, hang on a moment. You've just gone and done a tell-all interview with Oprah Winfrey. What the hell are you talking about? And he lunges at Harry. And at that point, I have to say, and I don't usually ever support any form of physical violence, but at that point, Megyn, rightly or wrongly, my sympathies were with William, not with Harry.
If you're like me, you're growing more and more concerned about the future. The market's all over the place. Inflation, highest level in 40 years. Interest rates up. Market experts predicting recession. And using scary terms like economic hurricane and unprecedented. Now, if you want to protect your future, you've got to call the precious metal dealer of record, American Hartford Gold. They can show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. All it takes to get started is a short phone call, and they will have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door, or even easier, inside your IRA or 401k. And they keep it simple. This is the highest rated firm in the country with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and thousands of satisfied clients. And now, as an exclusive offer for my fans, if you call them now, they're going to give you up to $1,500 of free silver and a free safe too on qualifying orders. So don't wait, call them up now. Call 866-518-2955. That's 866-518-2955, or just text Megyn, MEGYN, to 65532. Again, that's 866-518-2955, or text MEGYN to 65532 and check them out for yourself. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.